Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Speak Free with MattyG. We're joined today by a very special guest. We've got local country singer Brock Rodziewicz in here. A bit of a tough last name you got there. It's Polish, is it?
Yeah.
Polish. Fuck, those names are hard, mate. Honestly, I see the letters and I'm like, it doesn't sound like it's fucking spelt, mate, at all.
Nah, not at all.
Not at all.
I just tell people it's the alphabet and then it's closer.
Yeah. We'll be talking today a bit about obviously your music career and your aspirations for that. We'll be talking about your songwriting because you're a songwriter as well. You write your own shit, which I think is really cool. I've heard some. I saw you play at a family friends event.
Yep.
So that was cool. That was a good afternoon. And then we'll be talking about Western Sydney. Obviously, you're from this area, so
Yes, born and bred.
yeah, and proud of it.
Yep.
You're a Panthers fan, are you?
Obviously, yes.
Fuck, I feel like everyone I get in here is a fucking Penrith fan, mate.
Oh, my bad.
But let's get started. When did you start playing music? At what age?
I was about 7 years old when I first started, just doing like little community events and stuff, particularly like around St. Mary's. Like they do a lot of community functions and stuff like that all around. So like the Spring Festival and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Easter egg hunts for the kids and stuff. It was mad growing up doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And are your parents like musically?
No, but my uncle is. My uncle, he was a part of a tribute band, or still is a part of a tribute band called Desperado the Eagles Show.
Oh man.
And he gave me a lot of opportunities, like opening up for them. So that was a pretty exciting thing at that time, and obviously, like it's taught me a lot. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and obviously you play guitar as a country artist.
Yep.
I feel like it's a must, right? In some aspect.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you play any other instruments at all, or did you always just start on guitar and learn on guitar, and that's what you've stuck with?
Well, I actually learned how to sing first, and then I only picked up a guitar when I was about 15. So still kind of learning that at this point. I feel like you never stop learning.
Yeah, 100%. It's a lifelong thing, right?
Definitely.
Like even this with podcasting, I'm always learning and growing. And look back at my old episodes, I'm like, fuck, shit.
Still learning how to say Rodziewicz.
Yeah, fuck. That'll be a lifelong lesson. Don't worry.
Oh, definitely.
What was it hard transitioning from going from just singing to playing a guitar and singing at the same time? Is that like a hard thing to do? I feel like it's equal to doing like this thing. You know what I mean?
It was when I started off, like it was kind of hard to grab that. But, I always had it in my mind that it was to play guitar for the singing. It wasn't to sing for the guitar. It was always like, if you learn how to do like 4 chords, you get yourself through pretty much any song these days. Like,
yeah.
So that was what I was kind of set to.
Yeah. And what age did you start actually writing your own songs? Pretty young? Were you writing lyrics before you wrote music as well, or?
Yeah, well, it was just like something small. Like I'd be writing heaps of poems and stuff. Like during school, like when you go to your English class, I was always writing poems, even though we're learning about Shakespeare. Just little things like that. So I was really stuck into writing poems. Loved creative writing when I was younger. And then I think I wrote my first song when I was like 15, 16, something like that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's still only very fresh as well. Like I haven't been doing it for a massively long time, but yeah, I reckon it's starting to come pretty good at this point. So,
100%.
yeah.
I've heard your own shit and it's very fucking good. Trust me, very, very good.
Thank you.
It's like better than a lot of songs that are on the fucking radio today. Like honestly, some of the shit you hear now. I wasn't really a country fan growing up. I sort of never got exposed to it really, I guess. My parents aren't country music fans. I feel like everyone whose parents are country music fans love country music at a younger age. But for me, what sort of switched with me was like, I guess during like the last few years of fucking craziness this world has become, I feel like country music has sort of escaped the nonsense of what has become in the music industry such like a left-wing sort of like Hollywood agenda approach, especially in pop music and a little bit in like hip hop and that as well. Whereas I feel like country music has sort of just completely escaped that agenda. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like as I was younger, like I never liked country music. I didn't like it like back then. I mean,
it wasn't popular then, right?
No, like growing up with it, like my parents, they're not really into country. Like I know my mum was like loving Pink and my dad was all Michael Jackson. So, and then that came on to me when I was like, as I said, when I was 7, like I loved Michael Jackson. He was like my idol. It wasn't until I was about 14, 15 when I heard When It Rains It Pours, and then that was when I was like, this is country music now.
Yeah.
So I got onto that and I just loved it.
And it is different now, isn't it, compared to what it was like back then?
Oh,
like,
much different.
Like it's much more. I hate using the word popular, like pop music, but it is sort of like pop country. But I just mean that in the fact that it's like it's quite mainstream now.
Yeah.
Like you saw with fucking Luke Combs' fucking tickets how hard they were to get.
I couldn't get any.
Oh really?
No, I didn't get to go, but I did go to Zach Bryan.
Oh yeah, down in Melbourne.
Yeah. Oh,
fuck.
my God.
I missed out on tickets. I love Zach Bryan.
Yeah, same. He's like probably my biggest inspiration at the moment.
Yeah.
Him and Brad Cox, definitely.
And what a fucking songwriter, eh? Like,
definitely.
He's such a great songwriter.
He writes about like, you'd think like with his stuff that he's writing about, like in his main songs, like Something in the Orange and Quitting Time, Hey Driver, like they're so cleverly written, but it's about modern day things that, we can't really talk about, which is like hard because, if you're a man, you don't get sad about, you just got a girl broken up. Like you just got broken up with, whoop-de-doo, go out and find the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think it's very popular, like with men, especially because that song like taps into those emotions that we don't normally talk about.
I think so too. And it shows a vulnerability that I think all men have, but all men sort of like fucking hide away because they don't want to be seen as a pussy or a fucking sook or, or soft.
Yeah.
But I think with the sort of growth of country music, because country music to me, you can listen to a rap song and it's about, fucking hoes and doing blow and fucking getting money. You know what I mean? Which is cool. It's cool, like party atmosphere if that's what you're fucking into, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not against. I love hip hop, right? I fucking love rap music.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar's one of my favorite fucking artists of all time.
Yeah.
But I think what country music does is actually tells a story.
Yeah.
And I think when something can tell a story and it's a story that you can relate to, I think it's like super powerful. Especially if it's a male, like you said, a male singer that's talking about like showing a vulnerability.
Yeah.
I think it's super important for men to hear that, and especially young like kids to hear that as well, and know that it's okay to sort of, show your emotions.
Oh, definitely it is, man. Like you get so many like songwriters. Like there's a lot of people like me in that term, in the sense like there's so much potential in like a lot of different kids, and growing up knowing that they can like talk about that stuff makes it a little bit less, I guess, intimidating when you go to release the song, because you got people that are wanting to hear that now, like especially now in the modern country era, it's more like, more prone to talk about those things, and I like that's pretty cool in my opinion. Like I really like that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it is artists like that have grown so popular in the last few years, like Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen. Like these are all like country singers that have hit that mainstream because I think they're hitting a nerve with people and they're speaking honestly. I think that's what is actually missing in music as well, which country music has sort of brought in is a aura of honesty. You know what I mean? Like you don't really see it in pop music. I think it's made to be catchy and it's made to be for that time, whatever's trending at that time, especially with TikTok, it's very trendy music.
Yeah.
Which I'm not against, I love a fucking good bop too, like fucking, especially, Fiddler on a Saturday night, fucking get down, cunt. But I think people really want honesty. And you saw it with, what's his fucking name? God, what's the redhead guy's name that blew up like crazy?
Oliver Anthony.
Anthony.
Rich Men North of Richmond.
Rich Men North of Richmond, you know, in a time where everyone is fed up with the fucking government.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy who's written this perfect song that just
literally,
it literally says what everyone is feeling at that time of just like, we're all working our ass off for fucking what? While these cunts in Parliament House or the White House or in the Congress or wherever the fuck you live, your government are fucking killing it. They're making a killing, they're fucking filling their own pockets while the rest of the country is fucked.
Literally.
And I think he really tapped into that. And I think that's what country music has over or other genres.
Definitely.
Is that honesty.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Like it's like that song, like they released it perfectly. Like the time where it was meant to come out, you know, like I reckon it just tapped into all of us, right? Like it's even here. I mean, the fuel prices. I mean, because I'm pretty much a broke 19-year-old, so petrol.
Right. I'm a broke 26-year-old. Don't worry about that.
So like diesel prices and stuff like that. You know, like I was thinking, like maybe I could write something like that. Failed horribly, but still, it's all trial and error. But
it will come to you.
I loved every part of that song. I loved it. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think I listened to it the first week I saw it. I think I didn't see it myself on YouTube. I think Joe Rogan reposted it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up on YouTube, and then I realized it was on Spotify, so I fucking added that to a playlist. I think I listened to it maybe 3 times a day for the first 4 weeks it came out. But it just, it touched my soul, like that. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
And it's so raw too, because it's not like a polished, like it's well filmed, don't get me wrong, but it's all live.
Yeah. And
it's not like it hasn't been ran through auto-tune or anything. Like it's just so raw. And I think when someone has that just raw talent, I think like they're going to blow up. You know?
Definitely. I feel like especially like people like obviously Oliver Anthony and Zach Bryan as well. Like the more you hear just their raw voice is just like goosebumps. I mean, like I remember hearing North of Richmond for the first time, and I seen the video. I'm like, wait, normally like, you know, they'd be filming the videos, you'd call it, without him actually singing it. But
yes.
I'm like, you know what? That's really, really cool. And that's something I very much admire.
Yeah. So, and he just had like his dog in the background and shit. I think it was filmed on his property, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so fucking sick. Like, yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, Zach Bryan as well. He's such like beautiful natural rasp in his voice. But hearing him, he put up a few audio clips from the crowd, I think, from the Melbourne show on his Instagram. And I was like, fuck, man. This cunt can sing.
Don't quote me on this, but I think it's possibly the biggest show he had was in Melbourne.
Really?
There was over 90,000 people there.
Was it 90,000?
Yep.
Because it was at Flemington, wasn't it?
Yeah, Flemington Race.
So it was like all outdoors.
I remember thinking like maybe he might pull 20,000 or something like that. And then as soon as I'm walking out like to leave, and I was down the front, and I'm watching people leave as well. Mate, like the biggest crowd of people I've ever seen in my life. Yeah,
fucking
definitely.
That is actually mental.
Yeah.
And I still couldn't get a fucking ticket.
No. Well, I think I conned 2 of my mates into going down because they were like, oh, Melbourne, but we're like, come on, it's Zach Bryan. Like it's...
And it was the one night only. It's not like he's going to come to... I mean, he probably will come to Sydney at some point.
If he doesn't come to Sydney, I reckon, I'm going to be very mad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. When I missed out on tickets, I was like, it's just a one night only. He's probably doing it because he can test out like how popular he is here.
Oh, definitely.
And then because he's just started his world tour, right? Overseas, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Australia will probably come like next year if he comes. I think he will come back.
100%.
If he pulled that much, like that big a crowd at Melbourne for a one night show, I think he'll come back.
Yeah, man.
But how hard is it going to be to get tickets? 90,000 cunts turned up to a fucking show in Melbourne.
I know, and there was people from everywhere. I remember being in because I was up the front pretty much, and I literally called my mates. They're like both like 2 massive blokes. Like, oh, I don't want to go down the front, right?
Yeah,
and I'm just like, nah, fuck that. I'm going down the front. Like, I'm not as tall as you. That's what I was thinking about. I'm like, how am I going to see anything? So I've like run down the front as soon as we got in the gates. And funnily enough, the person in front of us was from Bathurst.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
And he's just like, and then we just started talking for ages, and then like we went and met up with him as soon as we come back home. So
that's mad.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's weird how things turn out like that. That happens to me at a lot of music festivals I go to. Like I went to Splendor in 2018 by myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'd love to, like, I wanted to go. I wasn't waiting on any cunt to fucking come with me because I was like, whatever. But at the time, they were running a Kentucky that went there. So it was like a bus from Sydney all the way up to Byron. Your tent's all set up for you when you get there, so you don't need to take anything with you except your bag.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was like, that's fucking perfect. Oh, and your drugs, but got to take them too.
Oh, just the sneaky,
sneaky few fucking, whatever your flavor is,
whatever you're into.
But it was so good. And then it was funny, like on the bus, there was like, and I'm still friends with them now, like a girl from the mountains, and then there's a girl from like the Hills district, and so we still like hang out now, go to like different gigs together and that, and but yeah, it's weird how like things just work out like that. You
Definitely,
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool, man. That's cool. So you play around here a fair bit. You're at the Fiddler quite a lot.
Yes.
For anyone who doesn't know where the Fiddler is,
Rouse Hill.
It's Rouse Hill. It's pretty much the only venue any cunt goes to. Every Saturday night, it's fucking packed. We'll be there tonight. This is getting filmed on Saturday, the 27th of April, by the way, if you're wondering, guys. But are you playing there tonight?
Nah, not tonight, mate. I'm out west tonight, but I'm back at the Fiddler, I think, on the 11th of May.
11th of May.
Yeah.
All right, mad.
Yeah.
Day before Mother's Day.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. I'll bring mum down, cunt.
Yeah, mad.
So I can have a good time.
That's what I said to mum. I said, you know what, I don't mean to be selfish, but, you know, because it's a 9 to 1 gig, so at least I'm taking her out on Mother's Day.
True. 9 till 1.
Yeah.
That's unusual to play that late, I guess, at a pub. Is it? Is it unusual?
Yes and no. Like most of the time, because I'm just a solo act, like if I'll probably do like a 3 to a 6, and then you get a band going on from like 7 till 10 or something like that. More so recently though, I've been given that 7 till 10 slot. Like that's normally the go, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love playing late nights. I don't know if I just thrive off of it or something like that, but I just absolutely love it.
And I suppose the crowd would get more rowdy at that time, right?
Definitely.
Because you have like, what I've noticed is where you play at Fiddler, because you'll play up in the other room, hey?
Yeah, I play up in the Irish bar there.
Yeah. So in the that Irish bar, like you'll get a lot of people who just need like a break from the dance floor for a bit, going in there, grab a drink, sit down. But I bet it would be pretty rowdy. Like,
there's been like, I remember I was there like a couple weeks ago. I think you seen me there, and I remember that was insane. I had the same bloke all night after every single song. So for 4 hours, I'd listen to this idiot go, "Take your shirt off, take your shirt off," and he's just like, "We got Ernest to take his shirt off." I'm like, "I'm not fucking Ernest, dickhead." Yeah. like, I'm not Ernest. Like, you don't want to see me with my shirt off. I said that to him. I said, "I promise you don't." Like, and then I didn't end up taking my shirt off, so he got kind of mad at that. But he just went down and started dancing again. I seen him down there at the end of it because I go down and have. Was he a young guy? Or? Yeah, he was only like 20, 21 or something like that. So I've gone down. I've seen him. He's like, "Oh, you should have taken." I'm like, "Bro, don't even start. I've already heard you do it for the last 4 hours." So, but yeah, it's always a great crowd at Fiddler. You go past basically so. Between like 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, like people are starting to get on the piss, like they're starting to drink. And then normally when 9 o'clock comes around, you got people that are half pissed, half not. Yeah. So it's like you start pretty much at the right time. Yeah. So that as soon as you go on, you basically guarantee people are going to like you. Yeah. So it's makes it a lot easier in that term though.
But you've got a great voice too. You really do. Like, no, you do. Trust me, you do.
Oh, thank you.
You sound fucking awesome. And as soon as like, because I didn't know Naomi and Jack had seen you at the Fiddler previously, like that Friday night before you played that Sunday at theirs. But as soon as I got there, I was like, who is this guy? He's fucking good, man. Like straight off the bat. And they told me about you and I was like, fuck, I should get him on the podcast. And then I came up and saw you. Yeah. But fuck, that was so good. And then you came down after and you like sung a few more songs. And it was like a campfire fucking sessions. It was good.
Well, I tend to do that like quite a bit now. I don't know why. Like it's just something different. Like I guess my different things I like to do, I guess. So like even at normal gigs, like at the Fiddler, at the end of the, like, cause I have to turn off at 1 o'clock. Like that's just the rule basically. Yeah. So I turn off at 1 o'clock and then if you got people saying, "Oh, like do more," I went up and stood on the chairs or like on the table and they were all like, I had to tell everyone to shut up. Everyone shuts up in that same room. You can hear a pin drop.
That's crazy.
So then I'm singing like, "Oh, you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey." So then they're all going crazy and like loving it. And then you're just like, I don't really have to try singing it because, you know, everyone's singing along anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
You just kind of like back away.
That's cool that you have that, like, because you're obviously engaged. The crowd is engaged in your performance. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not just there drinking and you're sort of in the background. They're there to watch you and they're engaged with you. And I think I saw that firsthand at just a private family friends event. Yeah. But everyone fucking loved you. They didn't want you to leave. Like, I think you did what did you do? Like an extra 45 minutes or something?
Yeah, well, I came in and it was that one time, like, I guess you have like one just really bad day where everything goes wrong. So I had like 5 guitar strings break. Like it was like that. So I'm like, you know what, the right thing to do, I'll stay a bit later. And then that's when I came down and I remember, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Ben or someone. And they were just like, "Oh, can you sing Sweet Caroline?" I'm like, I fucking hate that song. Like, there's only 2 songs I really hate, and that's and it's people are gonna be so shocked when I say the second one. So Sweet Caroline and Stick Season. It's just I cannot. It is such a great song. Don't get me wrong,
Really?
but I
You
just
hate Stick Season? Because you do play it, don't you?
I do play it because people like it.
Yeah.
It's the same. I don't know. It's an earworm like Last Night, right? Like last night we let the liquor talk.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's a very similar song to that, but I don't know. It hits different sometimes. Like when you do it right, it's quite nice. I like it.
Yeah.
But you know,
Is it because it's overplayed? Do you reckon as well? You're sort of fucking sick of it.
I'm more sick of it. I think so. I wouldn't say I hate it. I think I'm just a little bit more sick of it.
Yeah,
now.
because it even came on my Spotify yesterday when I was driving home, and I was like, "Oh, skip." Fuck,
Yeah.
I've heard it enough. Hey, fucking over it now.
Yeah. I just really. It's not my favorite song now.
See, that's my toxic trait with music is that a song will be my favorite song for about 2 weeks.
Oh, literally.
And then
the
it will be
same.
my most hated fucking song on the planet because I just get so sick of it. And that's only my fault. Like, it's not like it's playing on the radio. I don't even listen to the radio really.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just me playing it on Spotify fucking too many times.
Yeah.
Me making myself sick of it. But nah. So where's some other venues you've played?
Well, I know I've got CVI, Camden Valley Inn, coming up very shortly.
Yes, that's on the
18th of May.
18th of
so
May.
they've got a massive country night out there, along with Tyler Rodriguez. I think her name is Tyler Rodriguez. I'll have another look in a sec. And Jeremy Turner as well. So being around those people, like, you know, it's going to be nerve-wracking for me, I already know, but like being around that and being involved in such a great event. Like I remember last year the thing was packed.
Yeah.
And I was just going there to watch it and have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
So going there again this year, but being up on the stage in front of everybody, like I'm so excited for it.
And they fucking love their country music out there, don't they?
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of them hit up the, all the BNS balls and all
Yeah.
that live in Camden. They fucking love it.
Yeah.
No, that's mad. That's mad. So that'll be a big night.
Yeah.
That'll be a massive night. And you played in Cronulla as well at Northies?
Yeah, Northies.
Yeah, I saw that on your story.
Oh, I so want to go back there.
Was it a good crowd?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I was going there thinking, fuck, people are gonna hate me.
Because it's a beachy town.
Yeah,
and
I was like thinking, oh fuck, now I got to sing I was thinking do I sing Ocean Alley or do I sing?
Nah.
None of that. Nah.
Cronulla is still fucking 2005 Cronulla riots.
Yeah,
mate, that still lives on.
I was so scared of the I'm joking. But no, so I was like,
no, you're right. You're white. You're right. They'll love you.
Oh god. But yeah, so I went there. I'm thinking, fuck, people aren't gonna get into the country music. First song I do, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna test it out early. Fuck it. When it rains, it pours. And it was straight after, I think, the Sharks and Bulldogs trial game.
Oh, so it was a big crowd there.
So there was a decent crowd there. So I started singing, and then the first line, like, Sunday morning, I remember that many people just swarmed the dance floor at the same time.
That's fucking awesome.
I was there. I remember I had I think it was 3 hours I was there. Yes, I think I was 9 till 12.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had to wait until the game finished because it went, I don't know if the game just went for a little bit longer or whatever, but so I went on straight after the game, and then the first song, When It Rains It Pours, had heaps of people just swarm the dance floor and they're loving it. I'm like the fuck? I didn't. And I'm like, all right, sweet. It makes my job easier. Like I can just start going to Luke Combs, Zach Bryan, Morgan Mullen.
Yeah.
And
not have to change it up.
No.
Play what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. But I think that is country music as a whole now. Like, obviously, there's still people who don't like country music, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But I think overall, as a whole, like, country music has grown in popularity so fucking much in the last, I'd say last 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe even since COVID. I don't know if that's in correlation with that. Maybe. But especially in this country, fuck, man, I just couldn't believe it. Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, their tours here were fucking massive and super hard to get good tickets to.
Yeah.
I can't believe I got tickets to Luke Combs. That was crazy. I got tickets while driving. I'd given up, and then I was like, fuck, it's worth one more time because I couldn't get through. And then I got through. It was all allocation exhausted. And I don't know if they just put more tickets on. It was just divine timing. I went on there again, got in straight away. This is 3 hours after they've gone on sale. And I'm like, fuck, I'm driving back up from Albion Park back into the Shire because that's where I work. Yeah. And driving along, and I'm checking my phone, trying to keep my eyes on the road. Don't try this at home, by the way.
No.
But
Safe driving, ladies and gentlemen.
But, desperate times call for fucking desperate measures.
Definitely. Yeah, I understand.
And then I got in, and I got a reserve seating, the best seats you can get. And I was fucking blown away. Hey, so managed to get 3 tickets, and the rest is history. But that was a good show. That was a great show.
Yeah, I was shooting myself when I couldn't go to Luke Combs or Morgan. I was gonna go to Morgan Wallen, but then I think I was sick that day or something like that, and I just ended up selling them, giving them away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know. I would have loved to go to both of them, but there's going to be more chances, I reckon.
There will be.
The way that it's going.
And I reckon, like, if Luke Combs comes out again, I think he'll play stadiums. I think he'd have to.
He already was. I thought he was playing at...
No, he played arenas.
Oh, he played at the arenas?
Yeah,
I thought he was at, like, Acor or whatever it's called.
No, but he would sell that out. Like, could you imagine that? With fucking 85,000 people or however many it fits? That would be fucking insane.
With the demographic we have here in the terms of, like, who listens to his music, he'd sell out Acor.
Yeah.
Like that.
Probably twice, I reckon.
Oh, definitely.
He's huge. Like, he's actually, yeah, it's pretty crazy because I would say when I was leaving high school, I'd say pretty much no one listened to country music.
Yeah.
Unless you were like grew up with it and that was sort of your thing, you know? But in terms of like general mainstream sort of music listeners, country was never on their agenda.
Oh, no.
But now it's on every cunt's agenda. Yeah. Everyone fucking loves it. And I think there's been a big shift. I think since like... I think people are sort of done with that mainstreamy, commercialized sort of shit. Not saying country isn't now. It's kind of becoming that. But I think you get more raw talent with country music. And people have definitely fucking with that. And also young people are really fucking with like underground DJ sort of music producers now as well. Yeah. Like people aren't like spending their dollars going to, you know, so-and-so who's got a fucking #1 hit. They're going to like a club in Sydney with a good DJ that's playing some good fucking like good tunes that you can like that you fuck with, and they may not be the biggest artists in the world, but they play good shit. And I think that's sort of like, I think that is happening at the same time country's coming up. I don't know what it is. I think it's just maybe authenticity that people are looking for now.
Yeah.
But it's certainly like outweighing these sort of like commercialized, like I mean music festivals, right? Yeah. Like, how many are fucking getting cancelled? Because no one gives a shit anymore about the people they want to, like, bring up because it's always the same sort of lineup and it's like...
It's always the same similar people that you're looking at, but you need to have a little bit more wide variety in terms of, like...
100%.
Well, there was one that was just cancelled very recently. I can't remember.
Splendor.
Was it Splendor?
Splendor got cancelled. Groove in the Mood got cancelled as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But even at those venues, like I think, like, they have pretty much the exact same... lineup every year, like, or very not like the same, but like similar.
Yeah,
you know?
There would at least be a few artists that are on it from like either the year before or the year before that.
See, but even I reckon the tickets that they do sell though, like you got people that are like, oh, like say if Sticky Fingers was on there, and like you know there'd be thousands of people wanting to go to that.
Yeah,
but then it's just like, all right, yeah, sweet, they'll go to that, but then they'll just leave after whoever else is on.
Yeah,
which
true.
is like.
Or they'll turn up late if they're on late.
Exactly, yeah. You know, and that's just it's hard to grasp that. Like it's very harsh on the musicians as well. Like
it is, and it's sad.
Like
it's sad because Australian music industry is heavily built on festivals.
Yeah,
like heavily built on especially for these young artists. Like Triple J, but also I think people are sort of switching off Triple J in huge numbers too because. I don't know what it is, but I think maybe the more woke, something becomes. I mean, go woke, go broke is a real thing. It is a real thing, and I think Triple J has seen a decline since, around the time they moved the Hottest 100 to out of Australia Day. Not saying it wasn't the right decision by any means, but I think when it became more important to talk politics on the radio rather than just music. I think that's where they lost a lot of people.
Yeah. There's no one don't get me wrong, like it's important to know that shit, but no one's wanting to like drive home and listen to that. Like they want their Taylor Swift bangers. They want all that kind of stuff, long day. You just want to get home, listening to something good, a little bit breezy. As soon as you start bringing up fuel increase or, something like that. Yeah. And you're just like, fuck's sake. Yeah. Straight on the Spotify.
I know. And people want music for an escape, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's what country music definitely does. And I think if you're going out as well, like definitely like house and any sort of EDM music does, because it just lets you move and fucking and groove and have a good time.
Oh, I love EDM. I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
Skrillex. I remember being younger and like I mean, I was young wanting to grow up and play football, right? Like I played for brothers
Yeah.
and like I used to watch all the football edits and it was like the highlights of like one specific player you like.
Yeah.
And then they'd have like Skrillex in the background, like Bangarang and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And I'm like, ooh, this is quite nice.
Yeah.
And then I remember listening to that quite young and I was like, huh, this is interesting. And now I got two of my mates and they're both doing the same thing in terms of, well, they're working together, I mean, and they're creating that kind of music and that sound.
Yeah.
Mate, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
No, it's awesome. And yeah, you have seen a massive rise in that too. I mean, look at Fred again, what he just did in this country.
My God, that was like, I didn't really know exactly who he was, but then I was listening to some of the songs. I'm like, I've heard this guy so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like thinking, I don't even know how I know him, but like, yeah, no, this is sick.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I went to his gig at Kudos Bank
Oh,
Arena.
how was that?
Fucking
Yeah.
insane. I mean, I was off my head as
Yeah.
well. But honestly, one of the best nights of my life.
Yeah. Mad.
It was such a good vibe. And what I realized there was that I don't know if it's just him or if it's the culture of the music now and sort of where we're shifting as, you know, I guess as young people. But there was a lot less judgment in the crowd and people weren't just like, I don't know if you've ever gone like in a mosh pit and everyone's just kind of like
Yeah.
chilling, trying to look cool. People were just getting down in that mosh pit and just fucking
100%.
vibing and dancing how they want to dance.
Because-
and no one gave a fuck. Like,
Because everyone's there for Freddie and
exactly.
no one's
And I
like,
think he creates that
Yeah.
culture, you know, of just getting loose and having a good time. Like Mario, We've Lost Dancing, like when that was released during like lockdown and that.
yeah.
Fuck, mate, that song like saved me. Hey, I was
Yeah.
like, yes, someone gets it, you know,
Yeah.
like this is what we want. We just want fucking freedom back. We want life back, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, it was a really cool night. It was fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, how he just came here, no promotion,
No,
chucked it on
nothing.
his story, sold out instantly.
Yeah.
Like fucking, then he played a massive Gold Coast show, massive Domain show in Sydney, massive fucking Perth show.
Yeah.
Went over to New Zealand, killed it, came back. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. There's only a few artists that really could pull that off. Eh?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. He
And
was.
I think the thing with Fred is he's just himself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just him. He's been producing for a long time and never really like made it as an artist himself. Not made it, but never really, I guess, wanted to be this huge artist, right? He was happy to be in the background and just producing for different artists. And now I think just how big he's become. And I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier, is authenticity.
Oh, definitely.
People want authenticity. I think that's what is selling today.
I feel like, especially with Fred again, like what you've just said, like he wanted to be an artist or like a professional producer, didn't quite get there. But you look at him now and it's like, how many young producers are there just in Western Sydney?
Oh, so many.
There's that many, and I know that
Especially
they
in
all,
Western Sydney.
yeah, because all of them are all brought up around that music, and they, you know, they love it from Mount Druitt out to Leonay where I live. Like
Yeah.
we all love getting involved in, especially like the 1-4 movement. Like,
Huge.
like man, I'd never heard 1-4, but then I was playing football when I was younger, and then like all my mates, and they're just like, oh, listen to this stuff. I'm like, yeah, right. And then it's like, in Australian music, I reckon that kind of took off in terms of like authenticity, and it really kind of started something, especially like in the areas and
100%,
movement.
especially for kids who have been through the same sort of shit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And it was a voice for them in quite a voiceless place. Like, you know, at the time,
Yeah.
like a lot of people looked down on these areas, you know, if they're from richer suburbs.
Yeah.
Looking at you, eastern suburbs. But they look down on the West, and I think to have someone like 1-4 and to have, you know, even people like Nathan Cleary and Ty Tuivasa and that, and really represent the West, I think is fucking massive for kids out here.
Oh, it's huge.
And showing them that even though you're from here, you can be anything, you know? Like,
I remember even watching, like, because I grew up with or around like Jack Cleary, right? Amazing footballer. And
just signed with Warriors.
yeah,
as
just
well.
signed with Warriors.
Fucking gun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's a cracker. He's a great player.
Yeah.
So yeah, growing up like around all those guys and stuff like it just really made you proud, you know? Like you'd think it just, yeah, took it off, and it was insane. Like I remember being like, you know what, I'm proud from Western Sydney, and and it's not like something to be frowned upon either, because now suddenly
100%.
Everyone worldwide wants to be a part of Western Sydney.
yes, it is crazy, but yeah, I've I've always been proud to be from here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm from the Hawkesbury, but like I've always been very adamant that, you know, Western Sydney is where it's at.
Yeah.
I feel the soul of the country is in places like this. As Australians, I think the further into the cities you go, the less soul you have in the place. Like I went down to Melbourne recently for Pitch Festival, and I don't want to get. I've already started a fight with Adelaide, so I don't want to get Melbourne on my fucking bad side too. But oh yeah, fucking South Australians hate me, mate. I talked shit about them in the podcast last year, and fuck, they're still rope.
Get over it.
They're still smashing me on fucking YouTube Shorts over this one fucking reel I put out.
Oh no,
fucking cunts. Who cares? But down in Melbourne, I don't know if it's just I wouldn't say it's Victoria as a whole, but and it's not all of Melbourne, but I feel like people just aren't like nice. They're just not nice. And I feel like out west, we're all like supportive of each other to a much like bigger extent than in cities. And in saying that, cities, obviously it's much more like, you know, it's very dense population. They're all living sort of on top of each other. There's a lot more people there.
Yeah.
But I think there is like a more selfish attitude in cities compared to out here. Like the further you get into Sydney, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Compared to here. Yeah.
It's like they need to have that though. Like it's, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like as soon as you go from like, I guess I'd say, I'm just saying for sake of argument, from Parramatta into the city, it's like, you know, people are a little bit different, and then you start going, then you're like straight into the city. Like I remember going out like for a night out, right? Cargo bar, home bar, like all the works, right? We're doing it all. And you just walk in, you feel judged, like, and I was wearing a little bit nicer than what I'm wearing now, but like, you know, still the country get up and stuff, and everyone's staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and just like if you do it here, like you go to O'Donoghue's or Fiddler, it's like people are getting amongst it.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck, right?
Yeah, exactly. They come up and like try to shake your mullet for you.
Yeah.
Like I had that once. That was interesting. Yeah.
Oh man, I used to get that all the time. I used to have a fat mullet as well. And fuck, man, I used to get it all the time, eh? Or they'd come up, shake your mullet for me.
Shake it. It's like, shut up.
Yeah. Now, I do just want to talk about, I'm really interested in like the process of your songwriting.
Yeah.
How do you write songs? Is it like a thought that comes in first and then you got to write it down, then you turn it into a song? Or like, how do you do it?
Well, I mean, I've dabbled in like a lot of different areas in how to write a song in that term, but I find what comes to me is like when something important happens or you are dealing with something that's one, very emotional, or two, it's traumatic or something like that. Don't mean to bring the mood down, but but like that's the way how I can write a great song. Like, I mean, to me, it's how I can write a really good song.
Yeah.
So like the one I've put out on my TikTok, Akuba Bands, wrote that one exactly about a year ago. So I was at a rodeo, my first ever rodeo, met a girl, and I was like, oh my God, you know, love at first sight, basically. No, I'm joking. It's nothing like that. But I was like, oh, yeah, righto. And that's when I started, like, I went home and I was like, okay, I'm going to start writing about this. And yeah, it takes a lot for really me to get an idea. Like, I've got another song called Misfits, hasn't been released yet. But that's about us being out in the Hawkesbury on a boat because we had a caravan at Wisens Ferry.
Oh, yeah,
so,
awesome.
A Carina there. So, yeah, I wrote a song about that. One about, you know, getting cheated on and stuff like that. One about just relationships that haven't worked. And one, sadly enough, a family member that passed away. It takes a lot, you know, for me to go, okay, I'm going to write something about this. Because I find when it doesn't come from a place that means something to me, it's shit. Like, I don't like it. Yeah.
And I think that's also what others want as well to listen to, is something that is authentic to you, you know?
Yeah.
Something that you've actually been through that people can relate to. But yeah, I get that completely. So, and then from there, from that moment when you think, fuck yeah, I'm going to turn this into a song, is it like, does that help you process the feelings of whatever you're going through, whether it be sadness or grief or that? Do you feel better after you've completed a song? Is it like you got your feelings out?
Well, most of the time when I'm writing a song, like I won't write anything down. I'll just hit record on my phone because I suck at this, right? Like I'll come up with such a great line just off the top of my head and then I'll forget it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Like, why would I do that? So I always hit record now when I'm playing, and I found I've written more songs that are just, you know, mean that they mean a lot to me and they're authentic and everything we've been talking about. And that's what, you know, when I'm trying to put in emotion into a song, I don't really like stopping and starting. Like if you're in that moment, you're in that groove, well then keep on keeping on, basically. Like keep on in that, mindset.
That's so interesting. So then you listen to it back and then you write it down? So you like write, that's so cool.
Yeah. So you're
just jamming and
pretty
then
much.
That's cool, man. That's cool. And I've actually like, I'm really into like documentaries of musicians.
Yeah.
I love seeing the inner workings of like how they write shit. If no one's seen the Ed Sheeran documentary, by the way, on Disney,
watch it.
It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
I loved it.
And Fred again's on there as well.
Yeah.
He produced. My boy, my fucking boy. But that is, but he also like it's just jamming, and then it's crazy how he just comes out with these lines that become so popular, you know, billion fucking streams on Spotify, and you see him come with that. But I guess you can actually hear the sound then of the song as you're jamming, right? And you can come up and you can change it, and that rather than just writing it down and then sort of working it out how it's going to play, how it's going to sound.
Yeah.
It's sort of the process is already happening.
Yeah. Well, like I love trial and error. Like that's normally how I write my songs. It's like, you know, if this word doesn't fit the same structure, then I won't, you know, I'm not really big on structure as much. Like I think because I've grown up like listening and writing poems and stuff, like poem doesn't have to rhyme. It just has to tell a story.
Yes.
So that's where I'm like trying to come from now, and I'm trying to really hone in on that. Like that's kind of my task at the moment.
And that creative freedom that comes with that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you are looking at a structure, it limits you so much, doesn't it?
It does. And that's why Zach Bryan, I feel like, has gotten so popular, because his songs like Burn, 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 my absolute favorite song.
That's
from
one
him.
of my favorites as well.
So when I listened to that for the first time, I was just in awe of it. Like I'm thinking like, oh, you know, like, I was loving it. The only questionable thing was like the scream at the end, like the down the line, like that thing. I was like, oh, like, you know, that's hitting it's hitting the same spot, but I don't know if I like it. Like,
when I first heard that part, actually, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's such like it's sort of a soft sounding song.
Yeah.
Up until that point, and I was like, all right, now he's getting his emotion out. Fucking hit it.
Literally,
yes.
When I heard that live, I have never sobbed so much in a song in my life. And I remember there standing with my mates, and we're literally just hugging each other. We're just screaming, down the line. It was so it was amazing. And I feel like with a lot of his songs, they're just, you know, they don't have to rhyme. They just have to tell a story.
Yeah.
And he even says that in his poem that he writes.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need a music machine to tell me what a good story is. Matter of fact, I never asked anything from nobody, or like something like that. I think it was. So it was, that's Fear and Fridays, the poem. So it took a lot of inspiration from Zach Bryan in terms of the way I write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I mean, he's a fantastic fucking songwriter. Fantastic. Can tell a story. Probably like he's one of my favorite artists. He's definitely a huge reason I'm into country music. Him, like Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton especially.
Oh.
Spewing, I just didn't have the money to get tickets.
Me too.
For his fucking, they were really expensive. Fucking really expensive, but he's worth it. His national anthem performance at the Super Bowl.
Cried.
Oh my God. I'm not even American and I got patriotic. I was like, I'll die for America after hearing that.
Literally. I was just sobbing that entire time as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, man, you're like his voice to me.
Crazy. And it's like he doesn't even move his mouth.
No.
Like, it's fucking insane.
I think he hides it with the beard.
Yeah, I think he does. But like, it's just, he's brilliant. Now, I do like to finish my podcast just with a bit of advice that you want to give to anyone listening that wants to follow the music path that you're following, or just wants to play an instrument just for fun. What would be your advice to them?
Literally just work hard at it. Like, just keep working hard. Do not stop working at it, because as soon as you stop and as soon as you start doubting yourself, that's when, you know, you might find yourself going a different path that you don't want to choose. And I find that if you want something and you want to achieve greatness, you can most certainly do it. Just work your absolute ass off. And, you know, I don't really know how. I've never been asked that before. Jeez.
No, you answered that very well.
Yeah, it's work hard at what you want to do. Like, I'm still, I've been gigging for, a year and a half now. And I started off doing cafes and, you know, little bars, little restaurants, that kind of thing. And then now I'm doing fiddler, and I'm part of the headline show for Camden Valley Inn. So it's, you know, still got a lot of work to do, but I'm still working hard at what I want to do. It just matters if, you know, if you guys or whoever's listening in, if you guys want to achieve something in anything, just work your absolute ass off and be the best at it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming in and speaking free.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And remember, guys, speak free with MattyG.